Coming off their Independence Bowl win over Tulsa in '89, the Ducks took to Anaheim the following year, the 1990 Freedom Bowl with Colorado State, their first ever consecutive bowl trip. The Ducks were kicking themselves all offseason. 3 lost fumbles, only 7 yards rushing, and a muff punt led to 25 of the Rams' 32 points.
Well, after collecting 0 first downs in the third quarter, third down conversions of 31 and 21 yards helped senior Bill Musgrave lead a 79-yard drive, culminating with a 1-yard score by freshman Sean Burwell. But Oregon still trailed by 1. Rich Brooks rolled the dice, went for 2, but it fell just inches short. Michael McClellan stopped shy of the goal line. 392 yards passing in Musgrave's final game as a Duck, but came in at a 32-31 defeat in 1990.
Got back there to the Independence Bowl back in '92. That loss there they had to Wake Forest. Let's go back live now to our guys in Southern California. Tom, you were certainly around there for 1990, 21 years ago, and here we are again, another trip down to Pasadena.
Yeah, what a long, strange trip it has been. It seems like as you look back through the years, various teams have had great offenses, but now we've dealt with almost a different level of offense as the Ducks once again this year, a big season with numerous big plays on the field, seemingly coming in bunches.
Yeah, so let's take a look back now at how the Ducks scored some of those 600 points in 13 games with our Plays of the Year countdown. We'll start with plays 12 through 7.
With this 12-yard touchdown run, James became the all-time TD leader at Oregon, surpassing Derek LaVille's mark of 45 touchdowns. It was also James' 41st rushing touchdown of his career, tying LaVille's record. LaMichael later broke that mark against the Wildcats with a 19-yard rushing score. He made plenty of great grabs all season long, but perhaps David Paulson's best came at Autzen Stadium against USC. In the red zone, Darren Thomas connected with his senior tight end across the middle. Paulson reached out and stabbed the ball with one hand for an 18-yard gain to the 1-yard line. This would have been higher on our list had Paulson gotten into the end zone, but it's still an outstanding play. Good enough for number 11. Play number 10 comes from LaMichael James, the Doak Walker Award finalist. James nearly sets a school record against Missouri State. LaMichael took it around the left side and giddy up.
Got a block or two. Gets the corner. Here we go, baby. Here we go. 40, 30, 20, 10. What do you think? Touchdown, LaMichael James.
A 90-yard touchdown run. It's the second longest rushing TD in Oregon history behind Bob Smith's 92-yarder against Idaho in 1938. Play 9 came in a losing effort for the Ducks, but it began Oregon's late rally against Southern Cal. Down 38-14 to the Trojans in the third quarter, DeAnthony Thomas takes the kickoff from the 4-yard line, fakes the reverse, and takes off.
He will go all the way. DeAnthony Thomas, touchdown Oregon.
Dat picked up some great blocks and raced down the field for a 96-yard touchdown. Oregon pulled to within 38-35, but couldn't complete the comeback. The Oregon defense came up with play number 8. With the game already in hand, Baseko Lacumbo added an exclamation point to the 69-20 victory over Nevada.
He will walk into the end zone, Baseko Lacumbo.
Lacumbo with a 67-yard pick six, the first of 3 touchdowns on the season for Bo. He also had an interception return for a touchdown against Stanford. That one went for 40 yards and was also the final scoring play in that game. With LaMichael James on the mend from a dislocated elbow, Kenyon Barner stepped up in his place in Boulder against the Buffaloes. Barner blew by the Buffalo defense for an 84-yard touchdown run, having just enough left in the tank to find the end zone.
I hit a brick wall, man.
Hit a brick wall?
Yeah, this altitude got to me a little bit.
Thank you.
That's plays 12 through 7. Obviously, we have 6 more to go, and they are pretty special.
Well, when you score 82 touchdowns, it's hard to narrow them down
It was.
to a top 12, and we're
Yeah.
going 12 because it's the 2012 Rose Bowl.
Right.
But DeAnthony Thomas, safe to say, has a big presence
Yes.
in the rest of the top 12, and we go to our top 6 later in the show.
Right.
Josh Huff had a big play versus Stanford, which did not make the cut. A lot of fans probably remember that one.
Yep.
And like I said, 82 touchdowns. Just tough to get it down to a top 10 or a top 12.
Yeah, it was real tough. I mean, we left out a LaMichael James punt return for touchdown.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's something that most likely would go in any other year.
They're getting to the point where if the guy doesn't score the touchdown, and it's not against a big opponent, and it's
Right.
it's not in a big point in the game,
Right.
that it's hard to justify it being in the
Right.
top 10 or 12.
Right. I mean, when we put this together, I had a list of probably 30 plays that just jumped right out without having to look. And then we whittled it down to 12 from there.
Well, we are only halfway home on this Return to the Roses special here in Pasadena. When we continue, we'll be joined by former Duck Kristen McLemore. We'll break down the Ducks' last 2 BCS Bowl games and talk about the upcoming matchup with the Badgers. And remember, plenty more Rose Bowl content always available online at InsideThePack.com. This Return to the Roses special rolls on after this.